Buying a home right here in San Diego sucks. The stress, the emotion, the exhaustion.
So you're constantly scrolling through homes online. You're falling in love with houses that you might not get, touring places that looked way better online, making a huge financial decision, writing offers, losing, waiting, wondering if you should go higher, or maybe just wait.
But it can suck a lot less if you do it the right way. I'm Chris Erickson, we got Cassie Lewis here, and we've helped a ton of families move around right here in San Diego and win in this market, and a lot of people relocating as well. And after 22 years in the real estate business, here's what we tell every buyer to make the process go way smoother and be a lot less stressful.
Most people think their search starts on Zillow. In actuality, preparation is the most important part, and that is talking to a lender. We work with a lot of people where they're just checking out online, they're putting their information in, they're looking at mortgage calculators. That's all well and good, but the actual first step we suggest is getting in touch with a local lender here in San Diego, talking through the process, talking numbers, and really finding that actual number that you feel comfortable paying. So not just what you get pre-approved for, it's finding that sweet spot of what you want your monthly mortgage to be, taxes, insurance, all of that's what you want your payment to be, and a lender is really the only way to get that going. So if your timing is not now, or you're not buying in 2 or 3 months, it never is too early to start that conversation. You don't need a pre-approval necessarily if you're not looking actively. But just having that conversation, getting pre-qualified, getting those numbers so you can really dive in and know what you're looking for. And then it really helps your search too. So it kind of knocks out a couple of things with that first preparation step.
And this next one is huge, especially for relocation buyers. You might fall in love with the house online, but you might not know about the neighborhood, the vibe, the commute, all of the stuff that is important when you're actually living there. Certain things in the house like the backsplash or something you're gonna do in the backyard later might not be as important as actually where you're living every single day. So diving in and figuring out these neighborhoods, we have a ton of videos, so go check all those out and really get into actually vlog style. We're doing pros and cons, we're doing everything like that to get you educated on exactly what neighborhoods, but also boots on the ground, getting out here. Cassie was just out with some clients earlier this week, showing them different areas, because like I said, you can learn only so much online. Getting on the ground, kind of figuring out, okay, I like this area, this has, I'm walkable to here, or this area is a little more private, or this area has super quick commute to where I'm gonna be working, or all those little things come into effect. And yes, you could look, you could learn, you could get educated, which is a huge step, but actually getting out here and exploring is a huge benefit and makes your move go a lot smoother.
Next up is a really important one, and that's kind of setting your expectations, whether it be house, area, any of those things, because online photos lie. They're a sales pitch. It's not always on purpose, but they make the yards look bigger, they make rooms look bigger, they might make a kitchen look prettier. Like, there's things that in photos really pop and get people to click, which is exactly what they're there for.
Some AI too, you'll see some that are like digitally staged where it looks nice and you get there's no furniture in there. You're like, what's going on here?
Exactly. And so just kind of getting those expectations kind of set, and definitely get out there, see a bunch of houses, but there's also no hurt feelings if you don't like something. Good agents will just let you walk and let you move on to the next house and kind of add that to the database of these are the things that you don't like. And we definitely suggest seeing a lot of homes and getting out there and kind of just building your perfect spot, perfect home within that area you're searching.
And let's say you fall in love with the house on Zillow, you check it out, or your search app, whatever the case may be, go check it out. If you're working with the right agent, they're gonna get a good vibe of what you're liking. And let's say you walk in and you're like, this isn't the house. They're not gonna make you stay. They're not gonna make you go through the whole tour. They're not gonna make you waste your own time. Get out, go check out the next house. Scratch that one off the list, and just, you're not gonna hurt anybody's feelings by going check out the house. Looked a lot better online. I didn't notice those power lines in there. I didn't notice, whatever the case maybe is this close to the road. Just bounce out and you're good to go.
And the faster your real life expectations of San Diego kind of connect and match, the faster you find the perfect home and stop losing out on them.
In San Diego, compared to a lot of other places, we have pretty quick market times, especially in, highly desirable areas, especially homes that are dialed in. So a few things, you're gonna wanna go see homes quickly. You're gonna want to make confident decisions, even if that means doing a quick virtual tour, or even if that means taking a quick trip to town. And it's not quite like it was a few years ago where you needed to get in that first weekend. but we always mention time is of the essence. But that does not necessarily mean rushing in blindly. It means being prepared in advance so that when the right one does hit, you're going in confidently, you're not going in panic.
Next up, you found a home that you want to make an offer on. When writing an offer, it's not always about offering the most money. There's a lot more that goes into writing an offer. There are a lot more terms that are important. Some sellers need it to be quick close. We always suggest writing in the quick contingencies, and good agents are going to be writing offers that they're aiming to get it accepted. 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a counter, but the whole goal is to get an offer accepted. So you want to make sure that you know the terms that the seller wants, so that you can make the best offer and be at the top of that pile when they're going through offers.
And a lot of that comes down to what your agent is doing as well, and communication between your agent and the other agent, and getting all that info up front, kind of doing their due diligence so that when they are, helping you craft the winning offer, you're in the best position possible to get that home.
Writing a winning offer is not just about clean terms, short contingencies, who your lender is. Sellers want to be confident that they're picking the right offer, and showing that confidence as a buyer, showing all the prep, showing all of that stuff really helps them feel like you're not going to back out, and especially when they're looking at out-of-town buyers.
And you might lose a few homes, but it doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong. It doesn't mean that you should quit. It doesn't mean that you should overpay just to get the home. Sometimes it just takes a few swings to land the right home. You don't want that house. You want the right house for you. And this is just part of the emotional part of going through the process, and it's going back to the prep, right? We're going back to the prep of what's your comfort level, what numbers are you comfortable with, and sticking to your guns. And okay, this house went like this, there was some competition, it went this much over. Where do you guys want to do? You're already good with your decision by this point, right? You've already decided, okay, here's our max. We're putting everything in that we need to. We put our best foot forward. We didn't get it. Let's move on to the next one and find that perfect home.
Every house has issues. Even if it looks perfect on the outside, in those walls there could be some issues. This is why inspections are so important. And it's not just because you're trying to find something wrong with the house. You're looking at what product you're buying. So will you have repairs in the future? Are there deal breakers? So a lot of that is something that you'll find out when you're going through the inspection process. There might be things that make it so you don't move forward with this house, but it's kind of making sure that you see all of those things with the big picture, get all those inspections done, and find out what is important to you and when you're buying a house.
And some of those deal breakers too, you have, when you wrote that winning offer, there are protections in there for you to make sure that you do have these outs if certain things pop up, unexpected things happen, you can get out of that deal. So you're not necessarily tied to the house. It's not actually yours until you close. And let's say you find something big you don't like, there are ways to basically move on to the next home.
This is where guidance is super important. So having somebody to help you, is there something we could ask for? You can do a request for repairs. Is it something where the seller might credit you something to keep you in escrow or keep you on the purchase of this house? So having somebody kind of guide you through that is super important. And at the end of the day, you're always going to be able to choose whether something is a deal breaker or whether you want to move forward buying the house.
And there's going to be problems through this entire part of the transaction. And after you've gone all this, you found your dream home, you got your offer accepted, you're going to be excited. But then you're going to be nervous. And then you're going to be second guessing everything. That's just kind of what happens, right? You're going to be laying in bed at night like, oh, shoot, did I overpay for this home? Did I make the right decision? But if you've done all the homework before, this emotion is going to be a lot more in check than if you just ran into it and didn't do any of the work that we've already gone through. And this is the part also where there's a lot of stuff going on, where you have appraisal, you have loan approval, you have inspections, and all these emotions and all these feelings is totally normal. Mostly every single buyer has it, right? But there's also a lot happening behind the scenes where you have appraisals, you have loan approvals, you have disclosures, you have inspections. But the more that you are prepped and did all your homework before, the better the process will go, the smoother it will go for you, and the less stress you will have during this entire process. I'm not saying you won't have any stress, but it will be minimized.
And when it's quiet, when things don't seem like they're happening, sometimes there's just a waiting game when you're buying a house. There can be a couple weeks where your loan's already approved, you've already negotiated repairs, all of that stuff, and you're just waiting to close. So don't need to stress during that time either. That is just part of the deal.
And if you're moving to San Diego, relocating to San Diego, the first step isn't writing offers. It's learning the areas, learning where you want to live, learning the vibe, learning kind of what is going to suit your lifestyle. And that's what we do right here on this channel. We have a whole catalog, years and years of videos going over some of these neighborhoods and really dive in with map tours, vlog tours to get you dialed in and be that first step in your move to San Diego.